All right. So I am sending you audio from the P4Next. I'm also recording on the P4Next, and I'm recording in Cleanfeed, and I'm recording in Reaper.
And I'm recording an audio hijack.
Uh,
Did you get Rogue Amoeba's email they sent out on Friday?
yeah, I was slightly annoyed.
Did you read it?
No, I didn't.
You should read it. So it's a big promo for SoundSource 6, which we talked about weeks ago.
Yep.
And then some people were asking about it on some mailing lists, and then I went and pulled the trigger and actually bought it on Friday, but that's besides the point. They hinted that there's big things coming for audio hijack and loopback early next year.
Yeah, I think he hinted at something like that somewhere else too. I think I saw, I don't know. But no, I didn't open the email because I'm like, man, I bought this like 2 weeks ago. Like, why? You should be smart enough. Your email system.
They did make a good point. They say, if you want to stay up to date, check our blog out because we send very rare emails.
Yeah. So I want to. One reason I'm using the P4 is because I need you to do some testing, and I just left it hooked up. We were talking about a few weeks back a message that you saw on an email list about VoiceOver with the P4 and unexpected or unintended behaviors. Here's what I think the issue was, and I don't have any specific info, but I will share with people what I know about the P4 for sure. So number one, you only got 2 tracks of audio coming out of your computer. Doesn't matter how you configure your going in, all you got coming out is 2 tracks of audio. So stereo. If you're recording on the P4 as I'm doing right now, and I'm doing this mostly because I think I just thought about it and just reached over and pushed the button because I wasn't really planning on recording on it for the reason that it is going to pick up. So there's going to be a track on this SD card for today's recording that is me all by myself. And then there's going to be a track that has Michael and VoiceOver and anything else that gets played on my computer on the SD card.
All on one track.
Yep. Because everything that comes out of your computer is what gets recorded to that track. And there's no way to yank VoiceOver out of that without routing VoiceOver to a completely separate hardware output. At least from all of the testing I've done, there's not a way to pull that. There's no way for you to hear VoiceOver through your headphones that are connected to the P4 and not have it be in a onboard recording on the P4. Now, you don't hear VoiceOver here in Cleanfeed,
because you're using loopback.
Because I'm using loopback to just grab the channel of audio I want from the P4 and sending that out. So that's possibly where the issue may have been. I have not yet. I meant to text Mike, but then I thought about it. It was like the holidays or whatever, and I was like, screw with Mike to go test some crap that probably does exactly what I think it's going to do. I have not tested just setting the P4 as the default input and hooking it up and connecting through something like, say, Cleanfeed where we are, maybe Google Meet, because I don't think Google Meet lets you selectively choose your input channels. Zoom is not an issue because Zoom now lets you, and has for a while, lets you select your specific inputs that you want to use going into Zoom, which is awesome. Shout out to Zoom for doing that. So
you can now also make original sound stick in Zoom too, finally.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's about time.
It is about time. It is about time. We got some other show stuff to talk about, and since we were talking about Zoom, I'm considering, me and Mike hadn't talked about this at all, so I'm just going to drop it on him right now. I haven't said we're going to do this, but I'm thinking maybe we should revisit Zoom.
I'm down.
And my reasoning for it is this. I really want to test recording from like the iPhone, or like using the P4 or something with the iPhone or the iPad or whatever. And there's no way for me to run Cleanfeed off that. If me and Mike both find ourselves out of pocket, neither one of us can run Cleanfeed if we're not at a computer. I would like for us to have that flexibility. Not that we're going to do it all the time, but I would like for both of us to have that flexibility. So thinking about revisiting Zoom as a platform, it also would erase a monthly subscription that is happening right now too. And shout out to our tip jar supporters. We appreciate you.
We want to talk to you in the near future.
We are going to talk to you.
So here's my thought, and I'd be open to your feedback / suggestions. Let's plan to use Zoom on our next recording session. I don't know when Cleanfeed renews, but I would feel confident with saying we can cancel it for now so we can use Zoom, and that'll force us to use Zoom, and we won't fall back on Cleanfeed because that's what we're comfortable with, even though we're back here. I know how both of our minds work. B, I don't think Zoom's going to give us any issues because though I playfully call Zoom the modern day Skype that messes with all your audio, I think we can make it work. But number 3, we could live stream to our YouTube channel then too.
Awesome. Also a piece of feedback for people on the P4 because it just caught me off guard. I had to cough because unfortunately I'm getting sick. But I had to cough and I pressed the mute button. And whenever you're recording on the P4, at least currently, this could change with a software update. I think I may have sent this feedback in. I don't know. But anyway, if you're recording and you press buttons, you get no speech. So configure your settings before you start recording. For sure. Because otherwise...
And then Michael shouldn't mute while he's talking about speech not working. Because then he might wonder, did I lose Michael?
Yeah. But the mute does still work because I couldn't hear myself in my headphones when I muted after I coughed. Because I coughed and then I asked Mike, could he hear me? Did he hear that cough? And then I didn't hear me asking Mike, did he hear the cough? So I was like, oh, okay, the mute button still works. Because I was scared for a second, like, did it break? The mute button doesn't work. But yeah, Zoom. I want us to have some more flexibility. We may end up over the course of the next year trying out some other platforms as well. But I think with the flexibility that we have with audio interfaces, because I mean, you got a H6 over there, I think.
Yep.
So we got some portable, flexibility about moving around. I want us to have flexibility on the platform. I still want the best audio quality we can get, but Cleanfeed ain't moving in the direction I would like to see them move in, for one thing. 2, it eliminates a subscription that's just for the show when paying for Zoom anyway, for other reasons. So there's that. So we'll try it. I'll give it a try. We will plan to do that on our next recording and see how it turns out. I would be interested if people notice a difference in the audio quality. Yes. And just as a tip, I could totally call Mike the day before we get ready to record. I'm like, hey man, we're going to do Cleanfeed just to see if anybody really notices, or if we get a bunch of people that email us and say, yeah, I totally noticed the quality difference. Like, we were using the same tool. So if you can hear the difference, let us know. If you don't hear the difference, let us know. Because I can sometimes hear the difference in Zoom audio, but I mean, legitimately, to be fair about it, there's big networks that make, what I could probably make me and Mike could probably live off fairly well, money off of advertising that use Zoom. So, yep. I mean, are we better than them? Yeah. I mean, the answer to that is absolutely we are, but we can still use the same tools that they use.
Zoom ISO, I will play with that because it might solve some problems that I have in the near future. And then I'll go into my audio hijack session and change my recording block from Safari to Zoom because, yeah, that's a thing.
It's a thing.
I got a Raspberry Pi last week, and I've been bashing my head against the wall, the virtual wall, trying to figure out some radio stuff. And I finally gave in and asked for help and sent an email to an email list and said, hey, here's what's going on. Do you have any suggestions for me? So we'll see if anyone comes back with anything.
I'm surprised you didn't ask Gemini or ChatGPT.
Oh, I did.
ChatGPT. Oh, okay. It took you way down the wrong path.
Yeah. I asked both of them. I've re-imaged my software 2 or 3 times. I'm at the point where I spent... How much did I spend yesterday? I spent $75 on equipment too that will be here in the near future. Not quite sure when, because some of it's coming, I think, from China. But it was based on what Doug had suggested. And yeah, never. They they made sure to tell me about the tariffs I'd be paying because, and why I'd be paying tariffs and all this type of stuff. But I ordered this stuff because Doug's like, "We'll try this and try this," and then like I'm having other issues too. So appreciate Doug's patience with me when I was sending him messages and chatting with ChatGPT and Gemini, and then I finally sent an email to a support group. So we'll see.
Yeah, if Doug, I thought you said you bought stuff because ChatGPT suggested it. I was like, wait, man, hold on now. But no, if Doug suggested it, yeah, you just kind of go by it. This, yeah. So I am gonna make a comment that's probably wrong, but it's somewhat humorous to me anyway, so I'm gonna say it. Your biggest problem is that you're trying to use Debian instead of just using Ubuntu.
See, I would tend to believe that, but the software is prepackaged with Debian, so
Yeah, I mean,
I get it.
VoiceOver is prepackaged with Mac OS, but where are we at?
I do have 3 micro SD cards, and at first I'm like, I don't need 3 because the Pi came with 32 gigabyte. And then I said, Michael, multiple someones on Mastodon told you that you should not run All-Star Link and HomeKit or HomeBridge, I think it was the one I was looking at, or Home Assistant, on the same Raspberry Pi. So I decided
You shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't run it on the same, or I shouldn't run HomeBridge on its own SD card and just swap them out when the radio stuff frustrates me and I want something else to do with this Raspberry Pi.
No, you shouldn't try to run them on the same card.
That was made very clear to me.
Well, mostly because I don't know about HomeBridge on the Pi, but like the Asher system, like I think that is a whole OS within itself. So then you're trying to stuff, HomeBridge inside of that OS has been pre-configured. Like, nah, it's not a good idea. I've done enough research on that because I thought about doing similar things. There are some things you can run side by side because it's kind of like, if you're treating it like a bare server and it's like, I'm going to install Pi-hole and then I'm going to install this over here. I'm going to
install Docker and put all those in there.
And then all that works. But if you, can't do that thing. Wait, so I thought you had a couple of Raspberry Pis already.
I had 2 Raspberry Pis. One was a Raspberry Pi Zero and one was a 4B. But that was before the move. And I call it the Great Purge that we had because we threw a lot of stuff away. And, a year later, you're like, I bet. And then you remember throwing that drawer away that had stuff in it that maybe you should have held on to. Just say.
The hard part about that, though, is if you would have went through that drawer, you probably would have salvaged your pies, which would have been good. Because a Pi Zero makes
But I would have salvaged so much other stuff.
But you would have saved so much other crap that you would just be sitting around now. It would just be crap just sitting around. Like, I'm looking at some stuff in my office right now and in my closet in the house. And I'm like, man, I did need this thing when I went looking for it because I knew I would need it. But the rest of this crap that I had to dig through to get to that thing, like, I don't need that.
Yeah. So I've been Pi-less for the last year or so, and Mallory asked what I wanted for Christmas. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want anything. And then finally I'm like, you can just get me a Raspberry Pi. How about that?
So she drives over to the Best Buy and gets a Raspberry Pi.
She goes on the Amazon.
Yeah, I don't think they sell them at Best Buy.
I don't know.
But that you are a very, or she through you is a very good reminder that Best Buy is a place that exists sometimes for me because it's like, I could get that at Best Buy and it's right here, and they'll do same day delivery from the Best Buy. I haven't made use of that as of yet, but I have looked at some things like, it's actually cheaper on Amazon. So my MacBook Pro is going to have to go off to the land of Apple to be repaired at some point. Yeah. I don't know when this happened, and that's going to be the frustrating part when I actually call Apple. But my screen is damaged, and I found this out because whilst I was trying to apply for a business credit card, they wanted a photo of my ID, the front and back, which is kind of standard. what was not standard is they insisted that I take a photo. Like, it would not let me upload because anytime I get a new, renewal ID or anything like I'll get a good high quality photo of the front and back of it. And usually you can upload those. No upload. So I'm at the computer. I'm like, crap. Okay, well, I'll hold it up in front of the webcam, and it would not, for some reason, get the front. I don't know if because I was holding it upside down or it just wasn't positioned right. Now, when it got around to the back, it scanned that quickly. It was like, boom, okay, done. So it kept rejecting my images. I said, you know what? I'll call Ira. And what I'll do, my initial plan was I'll just call Ira and prop the phone up so that it's facing the screen. And then the Ira agent can tell me when the photos, when the ID is squarely in the photo crosshairs or whatever on the screen, and then I'll just click the button to take the photo. And the IR guy says, I can't really see your screen because it's got a lot of lines going through it. It looks like maybe your screen is damaged. And I was like, oh no. He's like, but we could
for a year, Demasi.
He's like, we could try a remote connection or something. So we tried RIM. Like, RIM was just cutting up. Like, every time we would connect, it would crash on my end. So I was like, let me reboot and see what's going on, and I'll try to call back in. I didn't call back in that day because I was kind of annoyed. I'm like, son of a, now I got to go send my Mac off, which means I got to make sure all my stuff is backed up, and I got to transfer over to the Air, and I don't feel like doing that because then I'm going to have to wipe the Air because it was a test computer. So, geez, I don't want to deal with none of this. But I'm going to have to deal with some of this. And I was like, maybe that explains some of the weird kind of unexpected behavior and freezes and crap that happens sometimes on my computer is because it has been damaged in some sort of way. And it could have been in the car crash. It could have been on another occasion where it just slid out of the back of a SUV when I opened the passenger door. But at some point, it got damaged. And nobody's ever looking at my screen, so who knows how long it's actually been like that. Like, that's kind of the problem. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But you have AppleCare, so it should be
I do have
reasonable.
I do have AppleCare, so that is the saving grace. So I'm going to get on the phone with Apple and get that set up. Once I've copied stuff, wiped it and then reset up the MacBook Air and copy stuff over.
So what you could do, because I imagine there's not an Apple store near you, correct?
No, the nearest Apple store is in Birmingham, and it's clear on the other side of Birmingham.
So get on the phone with Apple tomorrow.
Yep.
And the reason I say get on the phone with Apple tomorrow is they'll ship you out a box Tuesday. You're not going to get it till Friday because of the holiday. And then you can ship it back to them on Monday, and that gives you a week / a timeline to actually get it done.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the plan was. I'll call them tomorrow. I figure they'll have the senior people or, they'll have people know what they're doing. So then we can get this done. We ain't got to go through a whole lot of back and forth.
When they start asking you, can you please describe it? Just be like, here, you share my phone screen so you can see it because I can't see it. And I will open my camera.
Yep. Or you can use your little diagnostic tool and connect to my Mac because I can still work it. And then you can look at what it's telling you is wrong with it because there is something wrong with it. I'm telling you.
And I bet there's probably more wrong with it than just the screen that's
exactly.
visual. Yeah.
I got to transfer over to the MacBook Air. And then that'll be that, and I'll get that sent off. But I was like, man, that's exactly what I need to do is have to reset up a Mac. The upside is though, I will find out about this VoiceOver issue because I'm gonna start from scratch with my VoiceOver setting. So, we'll see how that story continues. I really do hate wiping and setting up Macs. No, it's
time consuming.
Yeah, and I can't just do a straight up transfer because I got 2 terabytes on this laptop and 512 on that one. And at the time that we are recording, have, as I try to get to the little screen that tells me how much available storage I have. Wait, where is that? Man, it used to be in here. Oh, I forgot. They changed it. You used to just go to the About screen. You could click on a button that had storage, and then it would tell you. But no. Now you have to go to System Settings and General and About.
See, I went to Macintosh HD and hit Command-I, and all it says is calculating.
Oh, I could have done that, too, especially since Settings is frozen. But I got about a terabyte of stuff on here.
Yeah. Huh. Apparently, I reset this Mac on November 22nd. I did not realize that. And I feel like it's time to reset it again.
Oh, nope. A lot. 749.6 gigabytes. That's still more than 512.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in trying to figure out what's taking up a ton of storage because there's probably not anything taking up a ton of storage. Probably Dropbox. Probably Dropbox.
I cleaned out our folder a couple weeks ago.
Good deal.
I don't know if you noticed.
No, I didn't because I haven't been in there. I would have noticed today when I went in there. To move the files over. Like, wait.
Where is it?
There's nothing in here. Here. Did I accidentally run the wrong script in a folder? Oh, no, Mike cleaned it up. So I am, hold on, because I still didn't do what I was supposed to do.
What, pull that review?
Yeah.
Okay.
But while I'm doing that, I don't want to sign into Microsoft. What the hell are we doing?
I don't know that I've ever read this review. So I'm going to pull it up too, I think. So when we started the show, I don't know if it got into the recording because we actually started talking and then we remembered we had to hit record. I was talking about Bluetooth keyboards and how they're great until they die. And so I went and grabbed my USB-C cable and plugged it into the Mac and then plugged it into the keyboard and it still wasn't working. And then I remembered I was using a pair of Beats Fit Pros and it kept switching to the Mac and I was trying to listen to something on my phone and use headphones with the Mac. And all of a sudden my Mac kept coming out of my right ear and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I turned off Bluetooth on the Mac and that's why my keyboard wasn't working. Yeah. Fun times.
So I need to do some tweaking on it. But when I started that iPad test, I set up a shortcut so that I can make it connect to my ear. Cause I hate Apple's. I like the idea of Apple's automatic switching. I hate the way it works in practice because it never switches in the intelligent way that I think it should switch. For example, I'm listening to a podcast on my phone through my earbuds and I'm doing something on the iPad. Don't yank my audio and transfer the AirPods to the iPad. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm listening to audio. Jeez, I at least somewhat understand it when you do it when there's nothing playing on the phone. I still didn't want you to do it, but whatever. So what I tend to do, what I've done for years is on the Mac, I run an app called AirBuddy, and I will set up a shortcut that I can press and that will connect whatever pair of headphones I have on that are close to the Mac. So it's not headphones specific. It'll do the AirPods. It'll do the Beats when I had the Beats. It'll do my Shocks if that's what I have on. And they're already, they've already been paired at some point with the Mac. And then I have a shortcut to disconnect those headphones, mostly so that it'll force the AirPods to go back to the phone. And then I'll go into, and I do this on every device except for my iPhone, I will go into the AirPods, more info in Bluetooth and say never automatically connect to this device, like never. Right. So the phone is the only thing that they should automatically connect to. If you're last connected to it, it's fine for you to reconnect to it, but don't ever switch. Well, on the iPad, I set up a shortcut. I set up a shortcut that will switch my Bluetooth based off, where it happens to be. And then I figured out how to do a global shortcut to run that shortcut. So I could just press a key command on the iPad's keyboard and it would switch my audio switch the AirPods audio from where it was, to the iPad. And I press it again and it disconnects from the AirPods and then they fall back to whatever they were previously connected to. I want to tweak that a little bit because I think I can now remove AirBuddy. Not that I have an issue with AirBuddy, but I think I can remove AirBuddy, from my system and just use that shortcut across the Mac and the iPad. So I'm going to do a little tweaking on that and then I will share that with you so that you can configure your settings in a similar manner so that you don't have this problem of turning off Bluetooth to make stuff stop connecting.
Yeah, because it's bad. So I found this review And first of all, I didn't realize that it was left in August of 2024. It's an interesting review, and I appreciate it. But I hate to tell the reviewer that our show did not die a horrible death.
Oh, you're talking about that thing. No, I wasn't even talking about it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought this was the one you were commenting on last week that you said we were going to get to.
Yeah, and I completely forgot about it. So yeah, I noticed too how far back that was, and I was like, man, we got to start like kind of tracking that. I didn't know that was a thing though. So you don't have to read it word for word. You want to kind of summarize that feedback though, since you're looking at it?
Yeah, so this listener's been listening for the last few episodes, and they're wondering when we're going to explain what we're trying to do with this podcast. Your episodes don't seem to go anywhere. They don't seem to have a beginning or an end, and they don't seem to yield any information that can be of use to the listener. That part right there, I don't want to say stings, but I kind of have to argue with them a little bit because I feel like we've provided a lot of value to the listener. Yeah, fake news. We'll see what listeners say. It does say that your podcast seems like two guys rambling about anything and everything. Yep, that's kind of the show.
Did you listen to the show? Like, right. Carry on, because I got thoughts, but I'll save them till you're done.
I am constantly waiting to get a nugget of information I can use in my life, but your show never delivers. And then it asks why a listener would invest time in listening to this podcast if they're not going to get anything. The podcast or the review concludes with, please try to create some sort of structure. Stick to 2 or 3 topics. That's not us. Create an intro for your show. That's part of the character of the show, of not having one of those. And as you know, people will only listen for 5 minutes before abandoning your podcast. Okay, that's fine. If they don't like the show, then I don't know what to say. Anyways, and then it comes up and it says, I'm telling you right now, unless you change the structure of your show, it'll die a horrible death. Most of the content on this show does not apply to the average blind podcast listener. And that's how it closes up. I don't feel like we're talking to the average blind podcast listener. Personally, I feel like we're talking to a niche category of blind podcast listeners or podcast listeners in general. So I'm curious if you are the listener who left this comment. Let us know if you're still listening, because if you're not, then the podcast wasn't right for you. But if you are, then you got some sort of value out of it over the last 18 months.
Man, I just want to know, like, did you actually listen to anything we've ever said about the show, in the show, during the show? The whole point. Now, I don't disagree, because everybody gets something out of a show based off what they're looking for, right? So maybe the content that we're sharing, or the tips we're sharing, or the lived experiences that we're sharing don't have a direct bearing on you. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's not a show meant to be. I'm not trying to, we're not trying to, and we didn't set out with the attempt of like, oh, we want to, have a little bit of something for everybody. Go listen to Double Tap, if that's what you're looking for. And I don't say that in
other shows.
Yeah, I don't say that in a dismissive way. Like, I literally mean it. I think Double Tap is a better show for, like, we're going to talk about all of the different things, and we're focused on blindness. First and foremost, this show is not focused on blindness. So if you came to the show because you heard that there are 2 blind guys doing a show, we're not focused on the blindness aspect of this. We talk about it because it is a part of our lived experience. It is a part of our work lives. It is part of our tech lives. It is a part of our personal lives, because we are blind. But it's no different than if we were both extra tall, because I feel like if I say short, somebody will get offended. So extra tall people, like we were both like 7'5" and 7'8" or something. And then we would be, we wouldn't be trying to do a show for tall people that are over 7 feet, but we would talk about the fact that, door frames are kind of low. Just saying, right. They should do something about that.
and it would come up in our show.
Yeah, like it would come up in the show, listen, man, I stopped taking Uber X's because these guys show up in these, little Honda, escorts or whatever. Like, I can't even fit in here. It's like I need the whole car. Feel like I'm wearing the car. So,
but that conversation would come up in discussion.
but it would come
us.
up in the show. Like, man, I called the Uber Comfort, and why in the hell did they send me a Honda Pilot? I can't fit in this. What are you doing?
It's not very comfortable.
So now it's just XLs everywhere, man, just to make sure I get a Yukon or something. Now I wish we were extra tall people so we could do this show. Man, listen, shout out to the tall people. We're seriously, we're not picking, but I'm trying to make a point, which is we didn't start this particular show to focus on the fact that we're blind. We started this show to talk about what we're doing, which is we're always technically working. There's never a time we're not, to be completely honest, except maybe when you're asleep. And your brain's probably doing something then too. Because I wake up sometimes with the answers to questions like, I feel so stupid. Why did I not think about that 2 weeks ago? Like, I know how to fix it. And then you go fix the thing. And you're like, yeah. All right. Yeah. Then you move on to the next thing. But you know, Mike's over here hammering at a radio thing, right? Now that's a hobby to a certain extent, but Mike is also learning skills that he's going to apply somewhere else at some point, or he's going to use he's going to figure out how to incorporate that radio into some sort of professional situation. So we're never not really working, which is the point of the show. We talk about our life experiences. We talk about things that we're doing. We don't get too personal about stuff except Mallory's shoes, but you know, that's Mike's fault. I didn't do it. But the point of what we're sharing is, you know, to try to give people our experiences, hopefully in a way that's helpful to you, because, hey, I've experienced something similar. I've gone through those, you know, breaks where like I just can't get, you know, past a thing. Or you just have Google Chrome randomly start yelling at you that, hey, you should try chatting Gemini and Google Chrome while you're trying to do a show. See, everybody's had this problem. If you hadn't had this problem, you might. So I'm just telling you, it's a thing that happens. So that's the purpose of the show. No intro, yeah, that's on purpose. Like we don't have one on purpose. Maybe in another year or two, we might accept a, you know, submission from a listener, but honestly, probably not. Because the intention is you're falling into the middle of a conversation that we're having, because we're technically working, we're talking about the thing that we're doing and we're going on. And you're actually in real life, most of the times, falling into a conversation that me and Michael started somewhere else. You know, sometimes we'll stop threads of conversations on the phone and like, we should save that for the show. Right. But we started this conversation, or we started talking, right? There's a lot of stuff you don't hear that could go into the show, but we just can't record ourselves every single time because the audio quality is kind of terrible.
I mean, the audio quality is not bad, but because you can get pretty decent audio quality on phone calls now. But the problem is usually we're having a conversation, we're talking about something, and then about 30 seconds after we are done talking, we're like,
that could have been a
NSA,
show.
Can you send us that?
Right. Like, and I've been asking for this for years. And they you know, they act like they don't hear me. It's okay then.
Right.
It's all right. It's okay. Just know when we get this podcast award, we're not going to mention you. Okay. So that's how we're going to do it. But we appreciate the feedback regardless, because everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you are still listening, then apparently you're getting something out of it, or you're just, somebody had a term, which to me is a great term for people who listen to stuff and then still complain about it. They watch something and then they bitch about it, which is you're hate listening. So if you're hate listening, hey, we still appreciate you. I still appreciate you. Thank you.
We appreciate the numbers.
For sure.
While
we're
talking about comments, I want to say thanks for listening, Dwayne. And I'm going to use Dwayne's name because they left it in the comment. They said they have been listening for over a year and particularly enjoy the banter between the hosts, even though I may occasionally disagree with their opinions. And I appreciate that. And they appreciate the time that we put in for the show. And then they talk about my mentioning CSUN. So this was another comment back in March. We're getting back to August. Someone left us a comment that said that you mentioned Solos had a wraparound frames for $129. All I can find is $299. My response to that is maybe we misspoke, but that was back in August of this year. And then the last comment that I have here was 14 days ago from someone who was trying to find us on Mastodon. So we'll give you those details at the end of the show. And listen to the show, not what Michael emails you.
No. Yeah, no, because there's not even a way for me to make that work. But yeah, we appreciate everybody for leaving comments over there. And these comments were left on the Pinecast page. Like, honestly, I didn't know that was a thing until I was in Pinecast trying to do something else. And I was like, oh, crap. So our sincere apologies that we missed that feedback channel. We will start making an effort to pay attention to it more. I honestly wasn't aware that it was even there. So as a result,
we can disable it, but why? We're not getting spam,
if people are we're not getting spam. Like everything there was legitimate comments from people on what they thought or felt about the show. I hate you missed the potential to link up with a listener at CSUN last year, maybe this year. Or, you missed the opportunity to link up with a listener at CSUN this year, perhaps next year.
Next year. Yeah, this end of year thing's a little confusing.
Yeah, I think about when the show's coming out.
Because I knew what you meant. But
yeah, I knew what I meant too, but I was like, I should actually say what I meant, not what I said, because that could be confusing. But for some reason, I always think about CSUN as a last year thing anyway, because it's way so far back in the past, and people are talking about going to CSUN now. It's kind of like CES. Like, if I have to give you the year of CES, I'll tell you it's CES 2025. But to me, already CES of 2025 was last year's CES, if that makes sense. Like, that's the way my brain, especially this late in the year.
Yeah, this last 2 weeks for me, last year means this year that we're currently in.
Crap, man, I got to make sure I don't write 2025 on a freaking check next week. That'll create problems too. That you don't. And business checks are expensive, so I really don't want to waste them because I rolled a 5 instead of a 6. So yeah, I'm gonna be yelling at people. Hey, you're writing a check. Hold on, make sure you get 2026. It's 26,
right? Yep, it's 26.
Don't write a 5. Well, at least you can most times simply turn a 5 into a 6. It's not as bad as writing 23 and you mid 20, or writing 24 when you should have read 25. So I guess that's somewhat safe.
Effective Thursday.
Yeah.
This episode will come out late Monday the 29th, but it'll come out on the 29th. We are recording on Sunday. Did you find the feedback /review/ whatever you were looking for?
No.
When I was looking those up?
I have not. And I'm at the bottom of this Google Doc, and I don't see it.
Oh, they're not there?
I don't see it.
Oh.
But I think that shortcut appends stuff to the end of the document. The IFTTT shortcut.
Oh.
So it, instead of this being at the bottom of the document where it should be, is somewhere in the middle. So we'll have to follow up on that next episode. Cause we got a lot of notes here, most of which is funny. We've mostly actually covered all of this stuff, that we have in the document, except for maybe some things at the bottom that I randomly threw in there, forgot I threw them in there. So coming off of feedback, we're really looking for feedback specifically from our tip jar users. We will take feedback from anybody that wants to hear it. That wants to provide this. But we've been thinking. So far, what we've done with the show is we have a tip jar. If you're a tip jar subscriber, if you have a subscription going in the tip jar, you occasionally will get bonus content from us. We don't have a consistent schedule for said bonus content. But it happens. A lot of times you get more than I'll put it this way. We haven't planned out a schedule for that bonus content, but oftentimes you've got more bonus content than I think we planned for, because we will keep talking after we're done. And then we're like, that can just be some bonus content. So you guys are getting that. My thought, and this thought came to me the other day, and I was thinking about some future plans, some future adjustments that have to be made in different areas of my life. And I kind of went back to the conversation we had with Stephen, where he was like, he doesn't want to have to put his show behind a paywall, right? He don't want to tell people that they have to pay in order to get his content, which for him is admirable thing to do, I think is what I said in that show. So he now has ads. And I think I kind of got here because I was thinking about the context of like advertising and sponsors for the show. And like, I'm not ever going to do dynamically inserted ads. And I was like, I should start clarifying when I say I hate dynamically inserted ads that I'm not taking cheap shots at anybody that uses them. At all. My beef is with the companies who deploy the technology, not the people who use them. Because for some people, their advertising money is the way that they're making contributing to their income stream. Me and you are not reliant on advertising we're not relying on the podcast to support our livelihood.
Right. To support our life, or more importantly, in a lot of those cases, to support our families.
Right. Like we're not in that situation at all. Like, and we didn't start it with that to be the intention, and we didn't come from a situation where the landscape changed under us and we had to make a decision to do something, and that something was, do ads. And hey, the easiest thing out there for anybody to get when it comes to ads is dynamically inserted advertising. So that took me from that jump over to Steven's comment about putting stuff behind a paywall. And I was like, I think most of the times our content that we, put behind, like if you're a subscriber, you get to hear this stuff, but if you're not, you don't get to hear it. It's not like anything specific. I was like, what if we try a slightly different approach? And we're not going to roll this out instantly. It's not going to take effect instantly, but I want to put it out here for me and Mike to discuss a little bit. This is the show being transparency because we're working. I'm sorry. I got to let it. Man, you want to see my numbers since you left that comment? Okay, I'm done. You want to look at where they was when you left the comment and where they are now? All right. Okay.
Right.
Now I'm done. Okay. I'm done. So my idea was, instead of us putting paywall content up or having a paywall in the way we're like, you don't get to hear this content unless you pay us. Because I genuinely think our show does help people. I think the listenership and the feedback that we get from people, it reflects that. The fact that people are happy when they meet us and they're like, oh my God, you're just like, I kind of feel like a rock star. It's like, I mean, my show is, the show is good. Like, the show is really good, but I'm occasionally reminded when you meet somebody that listens to your show. So my thought was, instead of us, having specific content behind a paywall for those who are subscribers, we just have the tip jar or the supporter thing out there for people who want to support us. This allows us to be a little bit more flexible, I think, because if you want to come by and just make like a one-time donation, because hey, I got a little bonus money right now. I got a gift card and I got like, I don't know, $17.22 left on this gift card. Like, I can't really do anything with that. Oh, I can give these guys a donation. Because you appreciate the content. Like, if you do you could do a one-time donation right now in the tip jar, but we can't give you anything for that. Because like, how do you get the next episode bonus content? What if there's not bonus content? Like, how do we fix that for you? So that's one aspect that it removes that sort of thing. And if people want to continue to support us on a monthly basis at whatever level they can, we would appreciate that. That does help the show. That does offset some of our costs, because the show does cost us money, especially when we go buy stuff that we didn't want to buy because people send you emails in the middle of the night when they're supposed to be on vacation.
On cruise ships.
Yeah, be on a freaking cruise, man. You sending me no email. Totally could have waited to December to get that. But there's that aspect of it. So I want to know how tip jar people feel about that. Now, here's what I would do going forward is, because 2026 is going to see some changes around the show. We're going to be doing more advertising. We're going to be looking for sponsors and ways to help generate some income for the show by providing you with content that is relevant for who we think our audience is. Maybe we'll even do an audience survey so we can really find out who our audience might be. Not so that we can name you, just so we kind of know what your interests are and where you are in life. I'm not promising we're going to do that. That just seems like maybe a thing we should do at some point. I'm trying to channel Mike right here. Like, oh yeah, we should do a survey. But for example, when we start doing advertising, I'm willing to still give people that are ongoing subscribers, shout out to subscriber number 1, an ad-free feed at that point. Because to me, that seems fair. Like, you shouldn't have to listen to commercials if you're paying for something. Like, I'm not going to Netflix you or Hulu you or Disney Plus you or HBO you or, okay, I'll stop. It annoys me, man. Like, you want money, but then you're still running ads. Like, give it to me for free if you're going to run your ads, or if I pay you money, don't do this half-ass thing where it's like, oh, we're going to, because they keep going up. If it was just $4.99 and you want to run ads, okay, you got to make it up. But no, it's not $4.99. It went to $5.99. Now it's $6.99, but you're still running ads. It's $7.99. You're still running ads. Like, this is almost what it costed for the ad-free experience 4 years ago. What are you doing? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked on that note right there.
I think it helps hit home your theme. And you know, Tip Jar, we have a Tip Jar subscriber who pays us $1 a month. I'm not complaining about that because I appreciate the fact that they pay us $1 a month. But I get that email about the middle of the month, and I'm like, oh, that's still available. Are we giving them the same value that we give someone paying us $5 a month? And if we switch to a plan where we're not dependent on keep giving content to people who only give us tip jars, tips themselves, then I guess it seems a little bit more fair to the individuals who are giving $1 versus the individuals who are going to give us $50 in a month, because they're choosing to make that decision not based on the expectation that they're going to receive a lot of content, but based on the fact that they found some value in the show and took time to go to the tip jar. Because frankly, you have to intentionally either open your podcast app, double tap on the tip jar link, or go to tips.pinecast.com/technically-working, if I recall that URL right, or technicallyworking.show to get to that tip jar. So there has to be intention behind it. And I think that's valuable, but I also want to make sure everyone feels like they're getting what they're paying for. And so we appreciate all of your tips. Sure.
Yeah,
and
I
I
absolutely appreciate all of the tips. And
want some feedback from you.
Yeah, specifically from you guys. Like I said, if anybody else has thoughts, that's cool. But I really want to hear from our tip jar people. And again, this is not an imminent change. It's not even a decision of like, hey, we're going to do this, because, you know, all of our tip jar subscribers are like, man, what the hell? We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yep.
we're not doing that. That's how that.
But we want to hear from you.
But we do want to hear from you. Like, and the general idea here is like, we're just not going to put stuff behind a paywall. When we start running our call to action,
It'll make my life so much easier too.
There's that aspect too. Like, we don't do it consistently enough that we have a really good workflow. Because like, I kind of ran into this issue too when I had to publish, and I was like, you know, this is kind of goofy in the content that we put behind the paywall. Like, it ain't that, I ain't gonna say it ain't that great, because all our content is great.
It's just extra.
It's just extra stuff. Like, it's like we could have just ran the episode for 20 minutes longer. Like, it'd have been fine.
Yep.
So that's that aspect. I you know, in the future, I do want to revisit other ways to provide value to people that have been and continue to support us ongoing if we do make this change. But I just feel like putting something behind the paywall and not allowing people to hear what we have to say, because we have great things to say all the time, is not fair to the world. When we start doing our call to action promotions within the show, tip jar people can be immune from that and get their own feed, so they don't have to listen to those.
If they want to be, I want feedback on that as well, because I know sometimes I'm like, well, what ad did I just miss that now you're commenting on, but you cut it out of your show from the paid podcast I'm part of?
Yeah, you listen to a lot of Twit, because they are the worst at it. It's like,
yes,
wait, what
sir.
did I just miss? Like, crap,
Yes,
now I got to go figure out how to find out what ad was in this show, because that might be a thing I want. Now, we would endeavor to do, you know, at least the minimum. Like, so I'm kind of pulling this so this kind of came up the way it came up to me. But as I thought about it before I even reached out to Mike to mention it, like I thought about different platforms and how they do things. Matt Geek Gab is an example of the people support their show because they want to support their show for what they're doing. They don't really get any bonuses other than if they, if you're a premium supporter of the show, I think your emails get pushed up to the top of the list. Like if you email in a question, like they're going to get to your question first. They, as they say, they endeavor to answer everybody's questions. But if you're supporting us financially in some way, we're going to get your question first. That just seems fair. Similarly, releasing the episode
earlier on the show, so you don't have to listen to the whole thing if you don't want.
Yeah, releasing our show early is another thing that I think is fairly easy for us to continue doing for tip jar people.
It's a checkbox.
Basically, it really is just a checkbox. I almost screwed up and released the whole episode with the bonus content. I was like, well, no, that's not how that works. I got to go do the whole upload thing again with this episode without the content. Like, I don't know.
And then run it through Alphonic a second time.
Yeah.
Because you want to get that consistent sound. And yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at that whole workflow and I was like, so maybe I should just render the show and then open it up in Vision and just chop off the end so that now there's the part that needs to go. That's how I discovered actually that I owned the license for Vision, was because I had that thought. And I was like, man, there's got to be
I don't know how to use this tool.
It's got to be a better way to do this. But so Matt Geek Gab is one of those, and they still run the ads because people said they want to hear the ads in the show. Now, personally, I could skip the ads, but I also don't support them financially, so I'm not going to say too much about that. But I could do without the ads. What I like the model for, if you're paying, you get to skip ads, and they do consistently give you bonus content every week, which is not something we're doing. So I feel like we need to reset those expectations a little bit too. But connected, they will say at the opening, well, not connected, any show on Relay, they will open the show with who the sponsors are for that episode. And when they close the show, they say, we'd like to thank our sponsors, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. So you know who the sponsors were, at least. If there's something there you've never heard of before, it's like, oh, I should go check that out. Or let me go click on the link in the show notes to see what this, company is about.
And they have a dedicated page with all the sponsors on the network as well, I believe, where you can go see who's sponsoring what show.
Yeah, I think they may have that too. And that reminds me that I have to get Mike his annual podcast subscription to Relay.
Yours worked?
Yep. So I kind of like the way. So when we get into and I'm saying CTA supported content for a reason that we'll come back to in a different show to kind of explain what I mean by that. But when we get into that content, do you want to hear the ads or the supporter things, or if you're giving us money still and you're supporting us through that means, would you rather not have to hear that in the middle of the show and just hear a continuous conversation like you've been getting the entire time? We would like to hear that from our tip jar subscribers as well. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we are with that. We're thinking about making some changes as 2026 gets ready to roll in.
Speaking of changes, we brought something up last week, and I'm comfortable with the date that we threw out. Do you want to share what we've decided to start changing recording to possibly?
Yeah, so we are going to switch our recordings to Thursday night.
Yep.
Starting on the 1st of the year.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to Technically Working on the YouTube, wow. Whoa. No, thank you. That's almost as bad as the reviewer that called us a pod. Just saying.
Oh, man, don't.
Yep, someone used the word pod. I left that one out. Anyways, on YouTube, if you're not subscribed to us, search for Technically Working. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's when you're getting old. You start calling stuff the. Just look for it on the Google. On the you say what now?
You've been talking to the Gemini again?
It's okay.
I almost said you've been talking to the Bard again, and then I realized that it's not Bard. Get that out of your brain, Michael. Google needs to break that link because that will forever be a sim link in my brain.
I don't think they can.
You don't think they can?
No, because I think for a lot of us that saw that product early, that's still what it is to us.
Yes. Yep. I don't go to Gemini.google. I go to Bard.google every time.
And it's only now, I would say, with 3 just gotten to a point where I don't feel like that's what I'm using. Because it is so much better than it was.
Oh, yes, sir. Are you using Google Workspace?
Yep.
Okay, because sometimes you're not. So I just figured I would check on that. Gemini with 3 and Google Workspace is amazing. I told it the other day. I said, add a calendar event for Monday and Tuesday at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And 30 seconds later, it's like, here's your calendar event. It's added to your calendar. I'm like, it's about damn time you can do that. It's like Fantastical in your browser.
All right. You using your own pay or?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even remember anymore. It'll all go to the same place. So we are recording this late on Sunday. We will be recording again on Thursday. I right now think that this is a pretty good content. Is there anything else you wanted to cover before we wrap it up and hit that hour marker? I'm excited for changes in 2026. We will have a website in 2026. Just saying.
We will. I
found the episode where we talked about our themes. Well, ChatGPT found the episode where we talked about our themes, but we didn't put the transcript there. So it was in TW93, and it gave me a little bit of idea, but because there was no transcript there, it couldn't go find it. And so I went to technicallyworking.show, and you can't go back to previous episodes on the website there. And that's frustrating because I'm like, I bet Pinecast has a transcript of it, but I don't feel like going back and looking for the transcript through the episodes page because you can't search on the episodes page. So that's why we need an episode so we can search, or a website so we can search.
We will. We'll be bringing some new aspects to the show. Again, still want to hear from our tip jar subscribers. For sure, we always want to hear from our listeners. Period. We appreciate every last one of you. And I've been moving sites over on servers because I'm feeling good about this new server shit, man.
Saving money,
man. Let me tell you, that should be the theme of 2026. Like, man. So
have you completely cleared out any of those cloud providers, / moved everything and remembered to delete the servers?
So I still got a couple of more sites to move because like one of them I think I'm going to have to do by hand because it's not wanting to do it in the web interface. And then with one place I had to go, I spent a little time today hunting down like where the hell is this domain actually managed? I know where it's registered, but where is it managed?
Is that one of my domains? Oh.
No. Wait, is it in Cloudflare? Because see, here's the thing, and like I got to do some cleanup on this too, because like sometimes you'll see a domain in a place that like Cloud DNS, and it's like, but that domain's actually not managed over here. Where? Oh, it's in Cloudflare. I need to go to Cloudflare. Oh, let me update my billing in Cloudflare. Because I did.
Cloudflare changed their website around since 6 months ago when I logged in here.
Exactly. There's that thing too. Like, how do I get to where I'm trying to get to? So yeah, there's been quite a bit of that. And I started updating billing stuff too because it's getting to be the end of the month, and I want to make use of this new business credit card I just got. So been updating billing. 2026 is going to be fun. We will follow up on our themes and how we think we did in 2025, and maybe talk about our 2026 themes in the next episode. There'll be fireworks going off, so it'll be fun. Hey, it'll be kind of like that 4th of July episode we did that one time for DM series.
See, this is why we need to search podcast, because then I could go find that 4th of July and play part of it in on the 1st.
I mean, I can go find it. Find it fairly easy. Just search for because it wasn't a regular episode. It was a special for the 4th of July. Just search.
It was
for 4th of July, and boom, there it is. But yeah, I am excited about what's coming in 26. There's lots of changes afoot in a lot of places, including spirals. Switching everybody. Well, not everybody, but a whole bunch of people. It's going back to canned drinks. Yeah, I still hate canned drinks because they pop, but got to serve the customer, man. Can't always serve yourself. That's all I can say about that. For now, we're going to wrap it up because Mallory needs something. Maybe it's shoes. Maybe it's something else. We don't know. Well, we're going to let Mike go find out. So we'll wrap this episode. We want to thank everybody again for listening. You can reach out to us. Email feedback@technicallyworking.show. Yeah, I'm going to let it go. He's on Mastodon at Payon, Payown, at dragonscave.space. I am Damasi, Damashe, at technically.social. And you should follow our bot. It's TW at technically.social. I tried to register TW.bot and somebody has it, and I'm a little upset about it.
What are they doing with it?
I have no idea. I didn't even go look. I was so angry. I was like, I don't even want to find out you're not doing anything with it, or worse, you've done something with it that is completely offensive to my bot altogether. So I'm just not going to look. I saw the .bot because somebody else had .bot going somewhere. And I was like, I should make that my bot. But I can't because somebody's squatting on it probably. Jerks. The hashtag technically working is also available to you. And I got news. I don't know where it's going to go as of yet, but I will follow up on it. I did have to go into the web interface to do it. I couldn't do it from within Mono, but I was able to follow a couple of people on Threads from my Mastodon account. And I see their posts show up in Mona because Rob Dunwood got the RE20 for Christmas, apparently. So and I saw that in Mastodon. So he's on Threads, not in Mastodon.
Does it? You see them in Mona, though? You just have to go follow them on the web?
Yeah, I had to go follow. So I tried doing it from the Mac app. I haven't tried yet from the app, but it was throwing an error at me on the desktop app. So I went to...
Are you on 6 or 7?
See, on the computer, I don't know.
Okay.
I updated to 7 on the phone, but I don't know where I'm at on the Mac, right, actually. So I just went to the website and logged in, and then I was able to follow. I think I followed Rob Dunwood. I followed Neela Patel from The Verge. There's somebody else I followed over there too. Hank Green, maybe, just randomly. But anyway, I followed a couple of people on Threads, and then now I see their posts because I saw Rob Dunwood's post about his microphone. In Mona on the phone, which I imagine it also showed up on the Mac as well because it's now in my feed. But we'll see where that goes. That might mean that if you're on Threads, you can use the hashtag and I'll be able to somehow figure out how to follow that. That'll be my next thing to try out there.
If you're on Threads, use the hashtag. Tell your friends about the show and use the hashtag, and then drop us a quick email so we can see if we can find it on Mona. Well, on Mastodon.
Yeah. We'll see how this works. We're federating, man.
Yeah. I'm not on Threads. I know someone who is, Doys, looking at you. So someone let us know.
Yeah. I'm not on Threads either. I'm barely on Mastodon. I think my Instagram account still exists, although I hadn't logged into it. And the only reason I had that is because of Clubhouse. Yep.
Which is not a fun program to use anymore.
Which is still around for some reason that nobody completely understands. That's what he was trying to say. We want to thank
Blab is not.
Oh, man. Man, listen, Mike really has turned into an old man. First he says,
ask your parents, children.
First is, if you're not, the YouTube versus the YouTube. And now he's reminiscent about a streaming platform that probably even people who lived through it don't know existed. So, yeah. We're going to wrap the show with
Periscope?
Periscope, man. Listen, Periscope, no. See, what you really need to remember is Meerkat, because they did it first.
Yep. Yep. And
And
then
Meerkat
Periscope
was
got all the
great.
credit for it.
Like
It
Meerkat was awesome. I was using Meerkat in Atlanta, just pointing out why the hell did they put this bus stop sign so far off the sidewalk? How am I supposed to find it?
So that's our tech reminisce from 12 years ago.
Man, I wish I'd have knew what I knew now to save some of that content. Like it could be repurposed as, I don't know, a reel or story or whatever they call it on the social media. Because I don't know.
YouTube short.
Yeah, they really should have thought about that. I'm just saying. Like, sometimes shorts, the way people use it in a sentence, just doesn't sound quite right. You have to have the context.
Wrapping it up.
Got to have the context sometimes, is all I'm saying. So this has been episode 143 of Technically Working. We appreciate everybody for listening, and we look forward to next week's episode.